Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'll be doing Filling Station by Elizabeth Bishop. In terms of reading the poem, it is a celebration of the ordinary. So a lot of Elizabeth Bishop's poems show fascination with the exotic, traveling, with the mysterious forces in nature. Underline that because she's very much associated with nature and its beauty, and with the extremes of human experience. But she's also a poet of the ordinary, the everyday, the mundane and the banal. Remember how she goes on a fishing trip, and rents a boat to fish. That's also very much an everyday like life for some people. She's interested in both the extraordinary and the ordinary. So the scene about the filling station we are introduced to at the beginning of the poem is not just the antithesis of beauty, it is like grot, because it says like oil soaked, oil permeated, like these crushed and grease, impregnated wickerwork, a dirty dog. All this, what you hear is like completely, I don't know, I wouldn't say disgusting, but it's very much like the imagery is very strong here. It is disgusting in some sort of manner. What Bishop does is focus her well-known curiosity on this everyday dull scene and probe its uniqueness and mystery. So she's trying to analyze what is this that's going on in this filling station. She's looking at the family that works there or lives there and she's trying to figure out what's up with this family, right? She finds meaning through her usual poetic method, accumulation of detail, and mark my words, Elizabeth Bishop is very famous for her detail, for her imagery, vivid imagery. Like everything she says, you can actually see it, imagine it. That's called vivid imagery. The domestic gives meaning to life, and what is revealed as the details pile up is evidence of a domestic life, domesticy. Even in this greasy, grimy world of oil and toil, the flower, the part of the set, the tabouret, the embroidered doily, even the dirty dog is quite comfy. These words and phrases show signs of domesticy, someone who's comfortable at home, someone who wants to be there. So despite the fact that it's all that negatively, like the words are negative, like oil and like greasy and all that stuff, like these are not positive words, yet there is domesticy. In a parody of a metaphysical questioning somehow, and it says, why the extraneous plant, why the tabouret, or why the doily, alright? So like she's questioning, trying to figure out why are all these things here? Well, why is she doing that? God knows. But anyway, poets are weird. Well, to a certain extent. Anyway, the poem searches for answers, for reasons why things are the way they are, for some harmony or coherence at the heart of this grimy scene. The answer appears in the last stanza. She gets to a conclusion, she gets to an answer where there are indications of an anonymous domestic presence. Somebody embroidered the doily and somebody waters the plant. So she gets to an answer to all her questions. There is some sort of domesticity, especially about the dog. Why would a dog be there if there are no people? Like, for Bishop, domesticity is the greatest good, and establishing domestic tranquility is what gives meaning to life. She has elevated this into a philosophy of life in place of a religious outlook. Indeed, this last stanza has been read as a parody of the great theological argument from design, used as an indication of the existence of God. I wouldn't use it as allusion, even though it refers to something greater, but I would use it as a reference, and perhaps if I have the what can I call it, the opportunity to invoke such reference, I most certainly would, whether it's higher or ordinary. Well, the ordinary I wouldn't really bother because the question will almost never get me to a point where I have to go this detailed. So in Bishop's theology, is the great designer feminine? Certainly, we could argue that the world of work described here operates on the male principle. And why? Because it says the several quick and saucy and greasy suns and even the big hirsute begonia all evoke a male world of inelegant, rude and crude health. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, in contrast, the domesticity is achieved mainly through the female principle, because it says embroidered in daisy stitch with marguerites, or I think whatever it says. And it is this principle that provides order and coherence and meaning, arranges the rows of cans and is proof of love. Somebody loves us all. So the difference between man and woman, what's a man responsible for, what's a woman responsible for, all these. Um, well, in relevance to the tone, I would say there are a lot of complicated subtle shifts of tone throughout this poem, because like there's an offhand tone in the opening line where it says, "Oh, but it is dirty," and the poet first takes refuge in descriptive detail. Some critics have read the beginning of the poem as condescending, little filling station, all quite thoroughly dirty. This is the way it is. And the flashes of wit may give credence to that interpretation. But the poet is gradually drawn into this filling station scene and becomes involved in the lives of the people living there. The stance of detached observer no longer provides complete protection for her. She is engaged intellectually at first because she's asking questions, maybe rhetorical ones. She gives an answer for them at the end, and she says, "Why? Oh, why the doily?" And as she uncovers what gives coherence and meaning to the scene, an emotional empathy is revealed. She says, "Somebody loves us all," at the end. Perhaps this is as much of personal need as it is an observation, but the wit saves the poem from any hint of sentimentality. Somebody waters the plant, or oils it maybe. It seems funny enough because now he's questioning who's the one who's oiling the plant, the females or the males over there. And, well, basically, I wouldn't say that there's anything, that I could add to this, but I could maybe, I don't know, go through line by line of this poem and, see if you guys would want me to, maybe go see if there's anything else I could add. All I could tell you is that she is observing this filling station from far. She's been observing it for a while now, and how everything is, has this black translucency. There's a lot of disturbing. She uses the word disturbing. Overall black translucency. Everything is oil-soaked, oil-permeated dirtiness, dirt. And says, "Father wears a dirty, oil-soaked monkey suit that cuts him under the arms." There's some sort of hard work. I wouldn't say racist, but I would say oil-soaked monkey. We're calling father, we're calling him a monkey. Is it because of some racial preference or something? We don't know that. But anyway, I'm just assuming as I read the poem at the moment. And several quick and saucy and greasy sons assist him. And then between brackets it says it's a family filling station. So she could tell that it's a family. But for now only the male genders are talked about. And it says all quite thoroughly dirty. So she's saying that there is love, hope, peace, unity, comfort in a place, even though it's that dirty and that greasy and oily. Still, love is there, domesticity, most important thing, is there. Do they live in the station? She's asking herself all these questions, and she's trying to get the answers for. She's talking about a dirty dog that's there who's quite comfy, so there is a sense of domesticity, so definitely they do live there. Some comic books provide the only note of color. Notice how she's very much focused on them. There's a lot of detail here in this poem, and like almost all her poems, Elizabeth Bishop is highly, highly detailed in terms of analysis and writing poetry in general. And here it says, some comic books provide the only note of color. Everything is dark, everything is oily. So she manages to glance at these comic books to see that they're the only ones that are actually showing a colorful life. They lie upon a big dim doily, draping a tabouret, part of the seat beside a big hirsute begonia. And then she's asking about the plant, why is it there, and why the tabouret, and why the doily, asking all these questions about it. And then the last stanza, she comes up to a conclusion saying, somebody embroidered the doily, and somebody waters the plant, or oils it maybe, and somebody arranges the rows of cans so that they softly say so to a high-strung automobiles, and somebody loves us all. You see that? You see the so, the alliteration, assonance invoked here. It's a technique that you should really read about, especially if you're doing higher level. Poetic techniques are very important. Anyway, guys, this is most of what I could say about this lengthy Elizabeth Bishop poem. And if you have any questions, just please DM me or comment down below. I'm here for whatever you need. Thank you very much for being here, and see you next time.